Hey guys, today is clay day, and I know clay is a lot of fun, and it's one that in my own classroom students really look forward to. So we are going to use a polymer clay called Sculpey 3, and these are a lot of fun. These make tons of different things. You can actually go to the Sculpey website and get lots of different ideas. The great thing about clay is that you can let your imagination run wild and you can make whatever you'd like. So I'm going to show you how to make a few things, but really I want you to make your own stuff with the clay. So I have a few examples of things that I made that just came out of the oven. I made a little bowl just to like put my rings in or anything next to the sink. I made these out of coils, and I'll show you how to make some coils. And I literally just kind of rounded this out with my rolling pin. So that's just one thing you could do. Sydney, my daughter, made a bunch of little things. She made a lot of visco things. We've got a hydro flask, and we have a Polaroid camera, and she made a fidget spinner and a rose, which is really small, which you can't really see, but I'll include some pictures of those. So please make whatever you would like with the Sculpey. Have fun with this. You'll get 2 packs and 2 different colors, so just enjoy, okay? Let me go over the tools that you need. You should have a few things. You'll have your Sculpey packs, you'll have some popsicle sticks, and I'll also give you a knife so you can cut it. And one tool that actually is for weaving is your little needle. This is great for adding design or texture or anything in the clay. So use that as well. You could even use the back of your paintbrush. I grabbed a few things from my kitchen. I grabbed a rolling pin, although I did most of it with my hands. That's just on hand. And then I also have a mat that I use. Just make sure you use a surface that it's okay to put the Sculpey on. If you do have these bright colors, they can stain furniture or a table. So have something down while you're working, even if it's just a plate or a piece of paper or something, okay? So make sure you have all your tools. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open up your Sculpey, and it'll have these 4 different sections. You can cut them in half. You can work with the whole thing, but you're gonna have to massage the clay when you first get it and really work with the clay. You really wanna get out any air bubbles or air pockets, and you wanna work with that clay. So I'm going to take my knife and just cut a piece. So just take it, and at first it's going to be kind of hard. It might even look a little crumbly to you, but just work with it in your hands. Massage the clay for a little bit. Just work with it, okay? Really push your fingers into it. I would also take a minute to kind of flatten it out on the mat or whatever you're using, just to really kind of warm up your clay. Now once you have it warm, you're ready to make whatever you want. You can make something big, something small. You can also combine colors. So if I had a green and white and I wanted to combine them, I could of course make different shades of green. So that's another option. I'm not going to show you that, but you can do that as well. So if you're working with your clay, keep the packet because it does give you the baking instructions on here as well. But just work with the clay, play around. You can roll it out. You can make a coil. You can make a circle. You could make a pinch pot. And again, I'll show you kind of some pictures of some of those things. But just kind of play around with the clay and whatever you'd like to make. You can make a coil like this. Make sure when you use a coil that you're using your palms. But lots of different things that you could make. I will zoom in so you can kind of see the mat and see what I'm making. Okay, so you've worked with the clay and you've massaged it a little bit. So again, you're just working with it. It almost kind of feels warm to the touch. And you can make whatever you like with it. If you want to roll out a ball, these are just some basic things you would learn at school. We're going to get a little more advanced than that. You want to roll it out into a ball. A pinch pot, if you wanted to make a pot of some sort, you just stick your thumb. You kind of want to cradle the clay in your hand, stick your thumb inside, and then pinch around the sides like this. And that will make a little bowl. So if you want a little bowl of some sort, and then I just continue to pinch around to make sure the walls of the bowl are all even. So that's like a little bowl, and then you could take your tool and write it and add designs, whatever you'd like. Okay. The great thing about Sculpey is it's so forgiving. If you mess up, just roll it back together and start over. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a coil, and I'll show you kind of how I made this bowl. When you make a coil, you wanna make sure that you use the palm of your hand, not your fingers. If you use your fingers, then you'll get this like funky looking loopy spot. So let's not do that. So roll the coil with the palm of your hand, kind of just moving back and forth. It helps to use both hands if it's really long, or maybe even just piece it. So the way I made this bowl, again, I got this idea from the Sculpey website, so I have them to thank. This is not my idea. I'm gonna take my knife and move all this over, just cut it. And I took my coil and I just spun it into a coil like this. I just made 7 of these and attached them all together. Really, if you look closely, I pressed them all together and I filled in some of the holes with more Sculpey and then created a little bottom for it. So I'll attach the video as well if you want to see exactly how she made these bowls. I wanted to show you these just a little closer. Here's a little mini hydro flask. Here's that fidget spinner, okay, that Sydney made. And here's a really cool rose. If you can see the detail on the rose right there. I know it's really small, so it's hard to see. And her little camera as well, and the little bowl. So there's so many things you can do. Don't feel limited. Let's say that you're in the middle of Sculpey and you need to go eat lunch, okay? So I have 2 ways to save my materials. If you have a little Tupperware of any size, I just picked a small one, you can stick it in here, put the lid on, and it won't dry out. Or just a sack, just put it in a little bag and come back to it later. Once you're done, talk to your parents and you're gonna bake your Sculpey. Okay, on this, it'll tell you the details of how to bake it. Have your parents do this, but it's $2.75 for 15 minutes per 1/4 inch. Okay, so you gotta do some math here. So for example, let's look at this one. I baked this, so they say per 1/4 inch, so if you look at the width of like the thickest part of this, I'm gonna say that that's probably a 1/4 inch. Okay, that's probably not much more than that. And so I baked this, I actually baked it for 20 minutes just to be on the safe side because the bottom is a little thicker. Whereas like this, if you're looking at the thickness here, this one is definitely more than a 1/4 inch. This is at least 1/2 of an inch thick. And so this one I cooked for almost 30 minutes, okay? These, of course, only took 15 minutes to cook in this. So it really, you can't really, I'm sure you could burn it, but it wasn't very hard. I took them out of the oven, they cooled very quickly, and then I have them a nice little bowl to put by my sink so I can put my rings in and little details, and you can do more stuff with this. So just have fun, okay? Bye.